What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the most important NYCFC podcast. You're tuning in and hanging out with the dudes in blue. It's episode 92. That's another one that rhymes.
You're just full of them, dude.
It's just they're pouring out of me. I'm your host, Joe Amato, and alongside me, as always,
Anthony Scarcello. What is up, everybody?
Dude, what's going on, man? We've got our very first official season match to cover tonight, and as we get some people pouring in, and I want those comments rolling in, I'm pretty excited about this episode, dude.
Yeah, me too. Finally got some real game action to talk about. Got some positives, some negatives, and room for improvement, but we're ready to go.
Yeah, overall, a pretty positive performance for NYCFC for the season opener against Sporting Kansas City, coming away with a 2-0 victory, a clean sheet. There's, for the very first match of the season, you wouldn't guess that this was the NYCFC that was going to show up at game day based on preseason, right?
No, not at all. But I'm glad that these guys showed up.
Maybe the tactic was, listen, let's just be horrible in preseason, and then show up and start to win.
Listen, I'm all for it. If it's going to get you W's, do it.
It's a great tactic. Let's see how it pays off. Let's start to say hi to those comments that are rolling in. We got Paul saying hello. What's going on, Paul? Welcome to the show. We've got Daniel saying what's up. Welcome to the show as well. Daniel right off the bat, just chiming in on what we were just talking about, says preseason means nothing, I guess. Well, we all kind of knew that to a certain effect, but the last matchup against Montreal of preseason was pretty much, I'd have to go back and check the lineup, dude, but was pretty much the lineup that we saw on Sunday night against Sporting Kansas City. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the lineup. It's really going to just be all about that match for the most part. And we want to know your thoughts on the lineups, the goals, basically everything that went on in that match. It was a great, entertaining match to watch. And Anthony's already making the VAR signal, which you should get a yellow card for. And yeah, we're gonna dive into this game, starting with the lineups. Not a huge surprising lineup there, right, dude?
With the exception of one spot for me. I would say it's pretty much what we all thought was going to go forward. I was really surprised. I don't want to say really surprised because we knew it was a possibility, but Ben Sweat getting the start over Mata was probably the one thing that everybody was like, wow, really? Okay. But for me, everything else was pretty much standard. Interesting to see Rodney Wallace starting on the right with Medina on the left. I think Medina probably prefers left, but Wallace seemed to be more natural on the left.
They started swapped. They started with Medina on the right and Wallace on the left. And then they swapped.
I think they started it the other way.
No. Wallace was playing up the right halfway through the game.
Yeah, and then they switched.
No. It started the opposite.
Using myself.
Yeah.
Once they switched, the game went much better.
Well, once that happened,
whatever
exactly.
that was, do that.
Guys, keep those comments rolling in. We will get to as many of them as possible, I promise. Yeah, dude, so the big surprise there was Ben Sweat, and right off the bat there, Paul is saying that Sweat was an animal. I think well-deserved the start in that game, especially with the way that he performed and ultimately, wound up sealing the deal for NYCFC just about.
I'll tell you what, I don't know about deserved because both guys were kind of both playing fairly well at that spot, but he definitely deserves to start in game number 2.
Yeah, exactly. So other than that, other than the Ben Sweat over Mata start, really not a lot of big surprises like we talked about in the lineup. You saw Herrera, Morales, and Ring kind of owning the midfield, and Collins, Chanot, and Tinnerholm playing it right back, which wasn't a huge surprise, but really good opportunity to see him kind of show his stuff. And then we had the Wallace, Villa, and Medina trio up top. Dude, I really have no complaints about the lineup. I thought he fielded a really good lineup, probably the best lineup that he could for that scenario, and it paid off.
Yeah, I have no issues. I wouldn't have put anybody anywhere. Would I have started Mata? Hindsight, I could have gone either way. But Ben Sweat's been putting in the work since last year, so he got the start and he made the most of it, which is what you really want. And now, hopefully, that'll start a little fire on Namada, and we'll see where it goes from there. But he had a great game. Everybody played fairly well. Again, not saying that there's not room for improvement with everybody on the pitch, because that could give you something wrong with everyone. But for the most part, lineup-wise, I don't see you putting out anything much different that's going to be much better.
Well, it's hard. It's hard to argue with that result too. Like you're coming in the first game of the season, you walk away with a clean sheet on the road, taking home 3 points against a Western Conference team. That's in the long run. I think that's going to be a pretty big victory to get things rolling for the team.
Yeah, you're talking about one of the best defensive clubs in MLS. I mean, I think what the stat was last year, they gave up less than 2 goals a game, or was less than a goal a game, something like that. Something ridiculous. So being able to get 2 is fantastic, but the clean sheet for me is what's really, really big. I mean, if you can keep those clean sheet streaks going, and it's going to be hard to lose games if you don't give up goals. You could drop points here and there, but losing games playing defense the way that you do is just, it's not going to happen. So
yeah, let's break it down a little bit, dude, because defensively, I thought it was a very solid game on defense. I thought, we were blocking shots left and right, limiting the chances. I think we only let Sporting have 3 shots on target out of the 18 total that they took. So that's a really good that's a pretty good ratio to me, if you ask me.
Yeah, it means you're forcing shots, you're forcing pressure. And I mean, what more do you want? You're blocking the shots. Again, there were a couple instances where you want to see guys in better position and maybe not bite on the moves at first, but other than that, I mean, you really can't complain with a 0-goal scoreline.
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. I want to get to a couple of comments here because they are rolling in faster than I could even get to him.
Let's do it.
Christian is asking thoughts on Ben Sweat starting for Mata, and should he continue moving forward? Dude, I'm telling you, it's going to be hard for him to lose that spot.
Yes, but I do think situationally it's going to depend on matchups, on who's playing on that side of the field with the opposition and what their strengths are and what might need to happen in the back. But for me, his play is outstanding. It's really outstanding. Through last year, we didn't have a bad thing to say about him. He was just all-around solid player and didn't do any one particular thing great, but he does all things well, and that makes him a well-rounded defender. And he did a great job yesterday. I mean, he showed you his speed. I have no idea where he got that from. Dude's like a gazelle. You take 3 steps and he's down the field already. So for me, he could definitely start next game, but if coach sees fit where Mata might be a better choice tactically because of the opposing lineup, I don't think Sweat will have a problem with that, because I think they're both being utilized to their max potential.
Yeah, for sure. Getting to some of these comments here, and guys, I promise I'm going to get to as many of these as possible. They're coming in super quick, and we really appreciate it. Keep them coming. We love it. Dave is saying that he said last week that Sweat could take over Mata's spot, but Mata can have Rodney Wallace's spot. Do you still think that's a possibility, dude?
I don't know. I don't know. Wallace didn't have a terrible game. Again, he showed positive. His footwork is good. He's a possession of the ball, smart with the ball. Again, it's a matter of how he produces, and if he's not going to produce and help others produce, you got to get somebody in there that's gonna do it. So for now, I didn't see anything warranting get off the pitch right now. But again, I didn't see anything tremendous like, wow, I can't believe he's playing extremely well. And right. I didn't see that from a couple people, but everybody had a decent game. But again, like I said before, there are things that everybody did that could be much improved on. And I mean, listen, if you're going to win a game 2-0 against a great defensive team and still have room for improvement, that just tells you that you're going to be a solid squad if you can get everything together.
Yeah, 100%. Eric is saying, Eric, welcome to the show. I think this is the first time we're seeing you here. Wallace got us our first goal. He took on 2 defenders to start the play. So, yeah, you can give him that for pulling those defenders out,
Yeah, I'm talking about goal scoring. I'm talking about you're playing up there. You got 4 in the beginning of last year. You got to do it again. You got to pick up the slack where other people, you had Harrison's goals. The year before that, you had Lampard's goals. Somebody's got to put these balls in the net. and somebody's got to get the drive going. And again, more of the same, more of that. He did it once is great. Do it 3 or 4 times a game. Everybody should be doing that 3 or 4 times a game because look how many chances you can create. We had a number of chances yesterday, but again, it comes down to what do you do with the ball when you get it? You got to finish.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. So let's I want to give a couple quick shout outs here. We got Daniel Patrick, we got Jason Pena, Jorge Luis. How you doing? Jorge is asking for a shout out to the supporters that are still stuck at the airport in Kansas City. For sure. You guys brought the noise.
Yeah, that was amazing. And kudos to you guys for sticking with it and getting out there. It was so much easier just to say, to hell with it, I'm not going, that's that. But when you want to do something, you put your mind to it, and you guys are just awesome. It's unbelievable. And kudos to everybody else who couldn't get out there that went to watch parties. I mean, every picture I saw from every bar that was doing something was completely packed.
Yeah.
We were in Cantina Lobos in Pelham yesterday. Couldn't find a seat.
Yeah,
we have to make reservations for a watch party. Absolutely ridiculous. That's much fun.
That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. Yeah. We got Roddy Russell, dude. Roddy Russell's back in the mix here. Saying hello to Roddy. Haven't seen him in a while. What's up, dude? Coming from the DC area, I believe, is Roddy there. So good to see him back. Uncle Dom is chiming in, dude. He said you guys nailed it, saying we needed more people to score other than Villa. You guys. We got what we wanted, dude.
Yeah.
2-0 victory over Sporting on the road, and Villa did not score. It's like we wrote it.
Listen, it's really... I think this is going to be a big narrative this season. I think if you can get contributions from people other than David Villa, it's going to be a tremendously successful season. Just because you don't have to lean on him so much as that he can now lean on you. And it kind of makes his job so much easier that he can find somebody open. I mean, he got the assist, gets the primary assist on Maxi's goal last night. That was fantastic. He's got his footwork. He's always solid. You know what you're going to get out of him. It's a matter of now he's got to be able to bring the best out of the guys around him, and those guys got to put in the same amount of work that he does in order to do that.
Yeah, let's expand a little bit on Villa because there's some other things too. Villa had an okay game, took some shots, many off target, but what stood out to me the most was that breakaway play right before the end of the first half.
Yeah, this is one that everybody's got a different opinion on, and I'll give you mine when we get to it.
Yeah, look, you could make arguments for both, I think, because he clearly had 2 options on either side, and he opted to try to go for it himself, waited a little bit too long, and wound up drawing the tackle from the KC defender. A little too selfish? Maybe.
Possibly, but who do you really want taking that shot 95, 100% of the time?
I'm with you.
I want him taking that shot. My bigger problem here is that the 2 guys running with him, neither one of them told him where the defender was.
Yeah, but do you know that, though? That?
There is no way Villa's throwing his arms up like the guy took the ball away, like it was a foul. It was a clean takeaway. Villa was clearly upset at the fact that nobody told him how close he was. That guy, he looked back once, and that guy gained so much ground on Villa. That is the role of those 2 guys. Got to be man on. He's coming. He's right there. You got to be able to do that because then Villa has the option of laying off the ball, and right there, Villa, his mentality is goal. It's on the net. He goes, I got to put this ball past the keeper. He needs the guys around him to communicate, and I just don't think that at that point in time, it's still early in the season. I don't want to hear he lost a step because he was slowing down because he was getting ready to shoot. He was trying to find his spot. He's not, slowing down because he can't run. I mean, we're 90 minutes into the season, and you're going to say the guy's lost a step? I don't think so.
No, I definitely wouldn't say that.
I think it's a communication thing. I think at that point in time, he just thought the defender was further back than where he was. And again, could he have passed it? Of course he could have, but when you get a player like that wants the ball, he already got an assist. I don't have a problem with it. I just wish that, again, the teamwork would come into play and the communication would be better.
Yep, if it's a communication breakdown, fine, 100%. if it was an emotional decision on Villa's part, like Jason Pena is saying it quite possibly. He wanted to score for Keeney. Maybe.
Listen, I'm not blaming him for wanting to score a goal. I want everybody to want to score a goal.
No, absolutely not. And listen, there's going to be plenty of time for David Villa to score goals this season. We got 33. We got 33 games for him to score some goals.
Sometimes I'll give you guys. Sometimes that net that's 24/8. All of a sudden, it becomes much, much, much larger when you're by yourself with the keeper. And sometimes things go by the wayside. And he's professional enough to know that, sometimes you got to lay it off. And he doesn't have a problem passing the ball. We know that. He racks up assists every year, just the same way he racks up goals. So I don't think it's a thing where I'm being selfish. I think he thought he had the clearest chance. Again, you got to remember that if your two guys are passing you and you slow down, you can get called for offsides.
Sure.
Well, you got to be careful there too. So I haven't gone back to look at it yet to see if they possibly could have been in a position where it would have been that been the case. But again, I don't have a problem with it. You're up a goal. I could see if we were like down or tied going in. But for me, I think it's just more of a communication thing where you guys got to be vocal with each other. You got to talk to each other and know where everybody is on the field. It's an awareness thing.
But I think if the scoreline ended differently, I think it would that conversation would be taken a lot more seriously. You know what I mean? Like if that was like could have been a deciding factor. Ari is saying he agrees. The wingers were looking at Villa and not the defender. Villa needs his wingmen to speak up. If that was the case, it's hard to say. We can't hear what's out. We can't hear them. So it's really tough to. It's really tough
just
to
going
see.
based on their reaction. The reaction was hands out towards the floor, like, how did this happen? And it's not because he's not calling for a foul. He's not like, I can't believe you let them get the ball away. It's more of, you guys got to let me know that he's there, because last time I looked back, he was 20 feet away and I took 3 steps and now he's behind me.
we got a little interesting fact here. Daniel Patrick is asking, is this the first time City has gotten 2 goals from DPs and Villa was not one of them? Roddy Russell's confirming it. You are correct. Pirlo only scored 1, but Villa and Lampard also scored in that game.
Scored. There's a fun fact.
That was like a really great question and answer going on in the comments thread.
I love it. Not only do they communicate with us, they communicate with each other. It's perfect.
It's a beautiful thing. It's like a Dudes in Blue family, man. Yeah.
Keep growing.
Absolutely. And guys, keep throwing those comments up. We're getting to as many of them as possible, guys. It's tough because they're coming in quick, but we do love it and we appreciate it. Keep slamming that like button. We want to know that you guys are liking this, so keep that coming. All right. So can we get into the goals, dude? We've been talking for 18 minutes and we haven't talked about a goal.
Do it.
All right. Let's play the recap and the replay of the first goal from Maxi Morales.
Cue it up.
Sweat to Medina. Oh, David Villa was open there. Looking against the power play and cross. NYCFC has scored. Broken down.
Yeah, just overall, a really great, really good team goal there. Sweat to Medina to Villa taking on Opara and then putting a perfectly weighted ball across the box. Maxi Morales, it's essentially a tap in for him. Just really a great way to start off the season, goal wise.
Yep, absolutely. Have to agree 100%. Great team goal. And what more can you say about it? Everybody played their part. Did what
discipline was there for Maxi. He was onside, like he followed that line. It was such a beautifully built up goal. 3 or 4 passes, it's in the net, and look, dude, that's the bite that we're talking about. Yeah. That is exactly what we need to see a lot more of. And our play up the wings is really pretty nasty. I mean, both goals essentially came from the wings.
What have we been saying since the beginning of when we started saying it?
Up the gut don't work.
It's just
all the time.
The middle, it will work in certain instances, but if you're gonna play a certain way, this is the strength that you have. You really, really need to apply it, and they did a really good job of it yesterday.
Yeah, no, that goal was just a prime example of a great team goal. I got a comment here from Daniel. He likes to see Maxey up in the box like that. Hope to see him getting in there more as the season goes forward. Yeah, I mean, he was that was almost like a place where Tommy Mack would show up.
Yeah.
And seeing Maxey kind of sneak through there was pretty awesome.
Very much offensive awareness. It's key. I say it all the time. Offensive awareness. You gotta know where you can find space and where the ball might be, and you got to get there. And for him, he got in the right place at the right time. And those are the goals that you have to score. The ones where you're in the right place at the right time, you'll meet and it'll go in. For me, in the middle, in the box is where you want him. I don't think you necessarily want him on the end of crosses just because he's vertically challenged. I mean, we all know this. So it's a matter of ground passes like that where he can sneak in and find space is what you really want.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Do we want to go on to the second and final goal of the game before we talk about the Maxime Chanot situations and all that good stuff?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, so here we go again, guys. I'm going to play the highlight here. Another beautiful team goal. Ben Sweat. It's really Herrera to Sweat to Medina. Check this out.
You said it. There's only one player. Look at the difference here with all these runners.
Nice run by Ben Sweat. Leads it in front. An open shot. 2-0.
Oh, what a beaut. What a beaut. I mean, first of all, give a little bit of credit to Herrera for that nice flick on into space to Ben Sweat. Ben Sweat hitting the gas and finding that space. And then the ball he puts in across 3 defenders, dude.
Yeah.
That's a sweaty ball.
But we're not surprised. Neither one of us was surprised because when I saw that, I was like, that's going to end up on Medina's foot. Not a question in my mind. He has shown that he has the ability to put that pass on the foot, no problem. And just the speed alone, I think, is what surprised me more because I didn't think that he was going to be able to get there that quickly, and he just kept going. And you can see my eyes get wide. I was like, wow. Wow, the speed is real. And listen, I tell you, the pace is really effective. And that was a counterattack. That was they were moving up the field.
It was a ball in
quickly.
transition in the midfield. Yeah, exactly.
You got to be able to do that. That's one of the great plays. Herrera started it off well, and I know people were getting on other people for saying that Herrera's having a bad game. Listen,
half to half that changed. Half to half it changed.
Right. But he also made another play in the second half where he steals the ball and then immediately throws it into space for Kansas City. So there's good and there's bad. And there's good and bad for everybody. We talked about it with Villa. We talked about it with Wallace. We're talking about it with Herrera. As long as you cut down the bad and keep up with the good, it's going to be fine. But again, to say that his first half wasn't atrocious was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he was dogging it in the transition play in the midfield a couple times. He wasn't running back. He wasn't sprinting back. He was light jogging. I mean, dude, you're not a forward. Your job is to play defense in the midfield as much as it is to play offense. So, again, He had great offensive plays, and then once he got into it, he started picking up the pace. But again, you can't have halves like the first half and expect too much. So
yeah, exactly.
Amanda
is saying Jesus took the wheel. He did. He did on that goal.
I like that.
Christian Smith is saying that goal might be my favorite in team history when it comes to pure style points. Dave Piavis Jr. What's up, buddy? He says the best team goal since McNamara against San Jose, which oddly enough was one of our McNamara moments, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was. That's actually what reminded me of it. It was like everything just clicked together. It was beautiful. So I want to see more of it. I want to see more plays like that. I want to see more counterattack. I want to see more play down the wings. I want to press this issue of offense. Score goals, and it causes teams to go into a frenzy because playing from behind versus playing with a lead is completely different. They're two different animals, and a majority of teams have trouble playing from behind.
Yep, no, exactly. Especially
changes the landscape of the game completely.
Oh, 100%. Just changes the confidence going into the second half. Having a lead at the half is huge for NYCFC. Mark, you're a new face here. I don't think we've seen you here before. Thanks for stopping by. Emilio was sick. He got beat by that chip. We didn't really speak too much to Medina's finish, but that was absolutely ridiculous.
Very hard to do because you got to realize that there's no room there to do anything besides what he did. You have to be able to settle it down, have a good first touch, and then by the time you settle it down, the keeper's right in front of you. So you have to be able to know what you're doing ahead of time. And sense of awareness that I'm going to get in this spot. I got to know what I'm doing ahead of time. And Medina shows you his finishing. And I'm really glad. I'm glad he got his goal. I'm glad he got it out of the way because now I think he'll have a little bit more of a relaxed time. I think if he puts him in Yankee Stadium, it's going to be absolutely bananas. So I can't wait for that to happen.
Oh, 100%. So just two really, really good goals to start off the season. Dave's commenting about Sean Johnson looking super reliable. Let's make the transition to chatting a little bit about Sean Johnson because I think there was a lot. This was a kind of a crazy game between the goals and the penalty that got overturned, and then the red card that was not a red card, and then a red card. There was a lot going on to kind of overshadow that. Sean Johnson, for the saves that he made, was impeccable. The free kick save was like monstrous. I don't know how he saw it, but absolutely incredible.
Yeah, great job. Just the pure athlete in net. I mean, he's tall. He's got the reach. He's got the wingspan. He's solid. And when he's on, he's on. I mean, there's not many people that are better than him when he's on.
Yeah, no, for sure. Elmer's dropping by saying so far week 1 has been a good week overall, MLS-wise. It was a really entertaining weekend, guys. If you caught any of the other matches, I was able to watch the LAFC match, which was really exciting to watch that team get their first start. But yeah, we'll maybe chat a little bit about MLS towards the end of the episode. But yeah, so let's Sean Johnson, just incredible. Just an incredible game for him for sure. We'll get to our due to the match pretty soon too, dude. Which we gotta officially bring that back.
Oh yeah,
because we haven't done one yet. This is the first. This is like the first official, right? So
yeah,
we should probably keep track of these to see who gets them.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so dude, 80th minute. You've got Sporting Kansas City on essentially a breakaway. Maxime Chanot and Sean Johnson both come out to stop the attacker. I do not remember who it was. I'd have to go back and check. But a penalty is called almost immediately. And VAR, Mark Geiger goes to VAR and overturns it. Good use of VAR in our favor this time in particular.
Yeah.
Good to see it being used.
Right, and I'm glad it was used. Is fine. At the same time, if that call had gone and it was a penalty, I wouldn't have been surprised. I think it was very, very close, and either way, I'm glad it turned out in our favor. But either way, I was going to be okay with whatever the call was because
it didn't look like Chanot got to the ball first, and that's what Geiger was saying. Like the angles are really tough. The angles definitely played an impact in the call that was made there, but like I don't have the replay to pull it up, but it didn't look like Chanot got the ball.
No, well, so the ones from behind, you can kind of tell, but the clear one that was from Chanot running from left to right, so running towards Sean Johnson, that was a tough one.
Yeah,
that one you really couldn't tell. That one looked like a clean takedown, and it was going to be a penalty. But again, look, it got if that's what happened, you got the call right. And that's all you really want.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's what it's there for, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's there for. So there's that. And then you fast forward and this is like 87th minute, right? So essentially a very similar thing happening. Chanot unfortunately is the last defender. They go to video review and basically throw Maxime Chanot out of the match with a red card because he was the clear denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. Again, not in our favor, but I don't think it was necessarily a bad call.
No.
Look, Dave is saying sometimes VAR giveth and sometimes it taketh.
Yep, and that's
sometimes it happens in the same damn game.
Yeah. But I think the main thing is the positive thing we can look at is that it's being implemented. It's being implemented the correct way, We didn't see any instances where it should have been used and wasn't. You had two clear instances where it should have been used and it was. Whether you like the result of it or not it's still, you have to give it props for introducing it and using it the way it's intended to be used. And hopefully we see more of it. I mean, you don't want to see it happen, but when it's called for and you can use it, you do want to see it happen. So I'm okay with the call. I understand. End of the game, you're tired. Chanel was having a really fantastic game up until about 82nd, 83rd minute there. And when you're tired and people are beating you, that's what happens. You end up getting a little lazy, and you throw hands out and arms out and feet out, and things like that happen. So luckily, it was out of the box, which was the second thing you really got to look at with the VAR. The VAR helps that out too. Is it a penalty or is it just a free kick?
Right.
So clearly, really close there too.
Yeah, no, we do. We got some comments on the whole VAR situation. Mark is saying that at least VAR didn't take forever to make a decision, good or bad, right? So that's 100% true.
That's one thing. That's one thing that was amazing. He would go and immediately come back, and I'm like, how did he see that? All he needed to see was one replay, and he knows. And that's
Christian
amazing.
Polanco, we got Christian Polanco. What's up?
Christian, what's up?
He says Geiger was incredibly efficient on VAR. He made decisions after like 5 seconds. He said, "I can't believe I'm saying something positive about Mark Geiger." Yeah, dude.
My issue was more with the lady who was operating the TV. Like, you see the call, you need to screen up immediately.
That's right.
She waited for him to get there. She was like, unbuckling this, unbuckling that. And why does the man need a 32-inch TV to see this? Like, was an iPad not sufficient?
Maybe it made it quicker.
I have no idea, but
right. So either way, I think fair use of it on both calls, right?
Yeah.
One in our favor, one in Kansas City's favor. That's just the way it's gonna go. Can somebody confirm this? Daniel's asking, is denial of a goal scoring opportunity red card a 1-game suspension or is it a 3-game ban? I think it's a 1-game.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good question.
But I do not know. So that kind of brings up, Glenn is saying that's the way VAR is supposed to work. Thanks for dropping by, Glenn. And guys, keep the comments rolling in. We're getting to as many of them as we can. Keep smashing that like button and let people know that you're watching this. Please share it out with the world and all of your NYCFC buddies. We appreciate you guys joining us here. The big question, dude, is Sunday in and Christian is saying 1 game, so if we can confirm that, that'd be great. So the big question now is that gap at center back. Who is going to take over for Maxime Chanot on Sunday against LA at home in the home opener? Huntonji? Huntonji?
Huntonji. Possibly, or a Bega. Am I saying?
Ibiaga?
I haven't got a chance. Ibiaga, yeah. He was subbed in, so I would say he's probably got the best chance of going back there. Or, hear me out, you could possibly do what we did last year against Columbus and throw Ben Sweat in the center back position.
Maybe.
It's possible. I'm just saying.
Steven is saying Sands. I don't think you're going to see him in that spot.
Probably not.
I don't think you're going to throw him in that spot.
I think you'd probably play him in the deep midfield role. I don't see him playing center back. I know he can play center back. I just don't think that you throw somebody with so little experience in a spot like that, especially in the beginning of the season.
Christian is saying that Ibiaga looked great at the end, and I thought so too. He looked pretty comfortable there, trying to shut things down.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, and hustling. I love seeing the hustle. Running on. When you're between the lines, you give everything you got, and that's what we see from him. And Tajuri, too.
Yes. He
was hustling very much, especially coming back to play D. So glad to see it. But I think Ibiaga definitely gets it for me. I think he's clearly the choice backup.
Yeah, just a little bit more talk on this. But while we're wrapping up this discussion on the center back position for Sunday's match, guys, start throwing up your dude of the match. Who was your dude of the match? I want to see those in the comments coming through, and we're gonna have a quick discussion on who we think our dude of the match was. So get those comments coming through. Glenn is saying that Sweat is too good on the wing to move him from that spot. I mean, I think he's kind of found his home in that in that left back spot. I really don't necessarily think you're going to see him there. Dude, are you okay?
I'm alive.
He's still there.
Little hoarse from last night, all that yelling and screaming going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think pulling him off, pulling him out of that spot might not necessarily be the best thing. But look, here's the thing. We've been talking this whole time, well, not this whole time, but we've been talking a lot about the depth that we now have at just about every position. This should not be a gigantic decision for Patrick Vieira to make. I mean,
no.
Look what happened last year when, Chanot was out for a majority of the season, and Fred Briant came in a little wonky in the beginning, but then kind of stepped into that role. So I think you've got to have players that can do that. But
yeah, but the problem was last year, if Briant or Collins got you didn't really have anybody else.
Right. But now we're fortunately in that
you've got 4 center backs that can really play, so it's all good. It's all good. I'm excited to see what lineup is thrown out on Sunday.
Keep those due to the match comments coming through, guys. Amanda is saying, would taking a Sharpie and changing my mixed jersey into a maxi jersey be acceptable?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
You could also change that mixed jersey into trash. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Yes, 100%. That is 100% acceptable. And Amanda, at the beginning of the show, she did say that she got to meet Via, which is pretty amazing. We hope that was a wonderful experience for you.
Oh, yeah.
I remember my first time.
No.
It's David Villa. Come on.
Listen, I there are still times where I speak to him and I'm just like, yes.
All right, so dude, let's do the due to the match talk here. We've got a couple of votes for Ben Sweat. Seems to be almost unanimous through the few comments that we're seeing on him.
Wow.
He was the first person I thought of when I thought due to the match, because again, he was somebody who surprised us, not only being in the lineup, but then showing up and putting in a game.
Showing you why he was in there.
And exactly prove to us all why he belongs there. So, I would tend to agree with that. I mean, the only other person that I might want to give it to is maybe Maxi for putting up the game-winning goal, but not really. It's hard. I mean, if I had to give it to somebody, I'd give it to Ben Sweat. We got to talk a little bit about Alex Ring really quick, because number one, Alex Ring put on a ridiculous shot on target, which forced Tim Melia to make a pretty great save.
I was amazed.
That ball had some knuckle on it too. Alex Ring played out of his mind as normal, right, dude? Like, that was business as usual for.
The fact that shot didn't go 40 feet over the net was astounding.
Yeah. Yep.
Because that's usually what happens. Listen, sometimes one or two shots like that a game will end up create a scoring chance, whether it goes in by itself or a deflection or a deflection out of bounds and you create a corner. Good things come when you shoot the ball. So
yep.
As long as you keep it in between the pipes, it's all good.
That's right. So, dude, who's your dude of the match? I mean, like, what do you got? Who you got?
This one was because while Ben Sweat did pick up the assist on Jesus Medina's first goal, I thought Sean Johnson had a really solid game.
Ooh, you think Sean Johnson kept us in the game, though?
I think he did. I mean, listen. He had a couple of chances where that free kick could have gone in, and then you really never know. I mean, Maxi had a good game, and he got the goal via decent game, and he got the assist. Medina gets an assist, so
there can only be one.
It's a tough one. What do the people say? What's the majority?
A majority of people are saying Sweat. So we've got a few.
Well, you know what? Then the people. Sweat. The people have spoken.
Wait, did we do one of these? The thumb up, thumb down. Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, man. We've got a couple of ringers though here. We've got man of the match is Chanot for me, says Eric. We've got Paul is saying Sweat. Roddy Russell is saying Medina was his man of the match, but he doesn't want to press us on it because I think he's got too many people in the comments. And look, dude, the comments are rolling in right now for Ben Sweat, so I'm sorry.
Ben Sweat it is.
I think
Sweat
Ben Sweat gets the first dude of the match of 2018. Congratulations to him. I think that was.
Bet you didn't think that was going to happen,
dude. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily before the game. Seeing how things kind of turned out and transpired throughout that match, I think it's valid, dude. I think.
Yeah. I don't have a problem
this was a guy that surprised everybody.
Yeah. And hopefully he continues to thrive in that spot.
Dude, if you have competition between him and Matarrita at left back, that position is shored up for me. That's a solid left-hand side.
Absolutely.
Right? So
absolutely.
So yeah, we've got some interesting things to look forward to on Sunday for the home opener at Yankee Stadium. I hope you guys are all going to be there. Say hi to us if you spot us. LA Galaxy beat the Timbers 2-1. Galaxy were looking relatively dangerous. So that should be an interesting matchup for sure, especially knowing that we went to their house last year and beat them 2-0. That was when Sean Johnson had probably the game of the season for himself.
Yep.
How do you think this game's going to turn out, dude? No, I'm not asking for predictions. I'm just in general.
It's going to be hard fought both ways. I don't think either team's going to pull out a clean sheet. I think both teams are going to score goals. I think the weather's going to be a factor. I think the hard ground is going to cause the ball to bounce around a little bit more than usual. I think the cold, we're supposed to have snow coming in, so that could possibly be an issue.
It's still early. I'm hoping that changes.
I'm hoping it changes too, but on the positive side, we get to see the orange ball.
If it snows, we got a couple of comments rolling in there. Amanda saying she'll be there in spirit because she is not from around here. Daniel is saying that I think he's talking about Alessandrini. I believe got hurt. He had to get taken off last night, so which would be somewhat of a good thing for us. He was one of the guys that is certainly scary to me. Paul is saying that Ring is going to boss the Dos Santos brothers around. It should be nice.
That sounds like something out of a sitcom. He's gotta watch out for those Dos Santos brothers.
Yeah, exactly. Ring around the Dos Santos brothers. Right? That's not bad.
Nice, there you go.
It should be an interesting matchup no matter what. I mean, you think you got two good teams that are both coming off of opening day victories, so you've got that. And NYCFC's first match at home, man. We made it pretty tough for people at Yankee Stadium last season and somewhat the year before. So let's hope that our house will be well guarded by our boys in blue. And dude, just real quick, let's take a quick lap around MLS and what happened over the weekend. Anything that stood out to you from the weekend's matches? I mean. LAFC beating Sounders 1-0 in Seattle was a gigantic statement for Will Ferrell. Columbus
and there were no Wolves and there were no Coyotes in the middle of the second half.
That's right.
One of the most ridiculously funny interviews I've seen in the recent past. He's just too much.
Yeah, that was interesting. Columbus 2-0 over Toronto.
That one was a little surprising to me.
Yeah.
That one I wasn't expecting. Now, look, Columbus is a good team. They have a good, solid keeper. And it's just, you gotta be careful with them. They're sneaky. They're sneaky good. And if you take them lightly, they will beat you.
Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest surprise for me, other than the LAFC matchup, was seeing Houston beat Atlanta 4-0.
Yeah, that was a big one too.
I definitely had Atlanta going hard on that game.
Yeah. Listen, the teams that you figured should have won over the weekend ended up being the biggest surprises because they couldn't pull it off.
Yep.
You all thought Toronto was going to win. You thought Atlanta was going to win. It's just, that's not the way it goes. And that's what makes this league so much fun. Anybody can beat anybody on any weekend.
That's right. Yeah, that's weekend. 100%. Dude, before we wrap this show up, is there anything else that you want to touch on before we say goodbye to our loyal following?
Off the top of my head, not really. I mean, I was really pleased with the way they played. Solid game. Again, when you can win a game 2-0 against a team with such a solid defense and still on the road and still have room for improvement from everybody, you gotta think at what these guys accomplish when everybody's firing on all cylinders and everybody's completely gelled and the chemistry is where it needs to be. It's going to be tough to beat these guys. As long as they keep it up and as long as they keep up the confidence and the hard work, I don't think we're going to have an issue this season. We're going to, have a great time. And I'm really looking forward to meeting more new people that come and join us.
Yeah, no, for sure. Dude, we got a couple of questions here.
Every week. It's amazing.
We got a couple of questions here coming in towards the end here. Jorge was saying, going back to the Columbus discussion, Zardes looking like a man on fire. Maybe. He might be able to finally score some goals.
Like it's on fire.
Maybe that's what it is. Paul is asking, do we think it's going to be a sellout on Sunday? I don't think so. Just
from the weather, the forecast standpoint, it will definitely hinder that. But close to it, if it changes, maybe. Yes, the decline in attendance and tickets has been steady over the past couple seasons. That being said, we're still pretty much third in the league, which is not. I mean, it's pretty. That's good numbers. It's just that this city, there's so much competition for the external dollars that
it's cold.
Yeah.
The last few home openers, man, have been rough.
But I don't mind if you dress appropriately and you have the right stuff and grab a couple of adult beverages, and you're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Daniel's asking, what's the jersey pick for the opener? I think they go sky blue.
Oh, yeah, I think they go sky blue. What am I going to wear to the home opener?
Layers.
Three sweatshirt.
That's right. Some variation of blue, for sure.
But you know what I wanted to touch on? Guys, I don't know if it's still there, but do the Amazon thing I taught you. Go, and now if you want to search, you do the New York City FC, just like that, search, and you find the different prices and your different sizes and things being really cheap. Also type in MLS. MLS will give you a lot of stuff that you have to do a little bit more searching through to find NYCFC. But Joe and I were able to get these French Terry sweatshirts that have like a collar and a hood built in. They're regularly like $80 on MLS store. I think mine was like $11.
Dude, great deals. We got to show. We got to wear them next week.
I bought 4.
We got to wear them next week.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely wear the goodies.
Want to find some stuff. It's always good to get your swag on. And if you
deals.
Video from last week of the Man Cave, of the DIB Cribs, go, look, watch, share it, get it out to as many people as you can, because I think I may do something in the near future with a giveaway involving that. So keep it tuned into us, and I will let you know what goes on. But again, share us with everybody.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Lewis is saying hello from Dublin, Ireland. Hello, Lewis.
Whoa.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We do appreciate it. Ari is saying, dude, I got the whole sweatsuit too. That's hysterical. This is like, it's the
right?
best. Dude,
it's amazing.
Incredible deals. I picked up 2 outfits for my son, and one for when he turns 2 and one for when he turns 3, the same exact suit. It's going to be awesome. I'm just looking forward to I love dressing this little kid in NYCFC gear. It's the coolest thing.
Can't beat it. And honestly, guys, if you have trouble with sizes, try things on at the stadium, but don't.
When it's $11, just buy a couple different sizes.
And send it back. You can do that too.
That's right.
If you're really worried about sizes, go try things on in the store. Take time before the game. Try different things on. Get your sizes down, and then you could really use the internet to your advantage about finding stuff really inexpensive. I mean, there's no sense. Tickets are expensive, parking, transportation. It's all money. I want you guys to save a little bit. So if you want to get the swag, find it elsewhere.
That's right. That's right.
I wish I was.
Guys, before we wrap things up here, I promise we are going to wrap things up, dude. Keep smashing that like button. Share this with your friends, and most importantly, give us the follow: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Dudes in Blue. We love you guys. This has been growing week in, week out, and we love that you're joining us every Monday night. It is a highlight of my week. It really is. And what really makes this better for everybody, including you guys watching and listening, is leaving us the feedback, leaving us the reviews on iTunes, leaving us the reviews on Facebook, and letting us know what you think of this format, if there's anything that you want to see more of or hear less about.
Yeah.
Please let us know. The feedback is huge. So Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, we're at Dudes in Blue. Just shoot us a message if you want to just let us know how you like it. Or if you don't, we'd like to hear that too.
Yeah, listen, anything that we can do to make the show better, in your opinion, we value everyone's thoughts, and we take everything into consideration. So if you've got an idea and you think something would be cool for us to discuss, we'll see if we can try to get it in. And I really love the questions. It just makes the show flow so much nicer, especially when there's off weeks and there's little things to talk about, or, we want to broaden our horizon, out a bunch of different, perspectives on things. I really enjoy it very much. So kudos to you guys for coming in and sharing time with us.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we will be back here Monday night, 8 p.m., same time next week, and we'll have the home opener to go over, man. This is going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to that. If you guys happen to spot us in the stadium on Sunday, please come by and say hello. You don't have to, but we love it when you do. And yeah, that's pretty much it, dude. So this was a great show. Thank you guys all for joining us. Again, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we're at Dudes in Blue, and leaving the feedback, iTunes, Facebook is massive. We really, really do appreciate you guys, each and every one of you. So, well, dude, until next time, stay blue.
Peace.